Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome into the Ben Maynard program. Thanks for being here. It's a Friday night. Let's see. We're late. We're still live, but we are late, incredibly late. We'll get into that. We'll get into all that stuff and probably a whole lot more tonight. But just again, thanks for tuning in. It's great to see you. Wait, can I see you? You're somewhere out there. But it's great to have you here. But as a reminder, we'll take care of some housekeeping first. This program is available on multiple podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, among many others. Just simply search the Ben Maynard program. You'll have plenty of options to choose from. And if you don't mind going to Buzzsprout, that would be great. And and there you go. But if you can't resist this, as always, and you're watching on YouTube like you are right now, because it's Friday night and we're live, then please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Yeah, comments are great. I love comments. I wish I had more. But yeah, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Hold on. Let me do something here really quick before we finish up the let's do that. Before we finish up the opening. So comments in it. There we go. All right. Told you here we go. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram. Simply Ben Maynard Program. So as you can see, there are plenty of ways to take in this show for your dancing and listening pleasure. And with that, we're going to get started. It's Friday night. We're live, and I'm so happy you're here. I know I'm happy I'm here. And we're only like 45 minutes late. Man, how does that happen? That is like absolute amateurism, But it's the first time in 2 weeks. Yeah, first show in 2 weeks. Let me get this keyboard out of the way right here. And there's a reason why it's been 2 weeks. So there's no script, no notes, no nothing tonight, but there's still plenty to talk about. Still lots of stuff that we can get done. We have all the usual stuff, the Malort challenge. And we've got Stump the Chump. Both of those are little games to entice you to engage with me, engage with the program. For the newbies, the Malort challenge is if you call into the show, and you can see right at the bottom of the screen, the phone number to call in for the show is going right across the bottom there. But if you call in, I have to take right here. I've got to take a drink of this delicious, so delicious, the worst tasting liquor out there, Jepson's Malort. So that's what I have to do. And I'm just getting it off the table because there's always so much clutter. Stump the Chump, call in with your music trivia. If you stump me, then I have to take a drink. Doesn't mean this is a drinking show because it isn't. Again, just a little shtick to get you to be active and get in on the fun and frivolity. Drink. Yeah. Already have my first comment. Drink. Yeah, I don't think so. Not like that. Because I don't want to get drunk. That's not, no. That's always no good. But so 2 weeks since our last show, since we spent some time together last, and there's a good reason for that. I thought about doing another live stream last Friday, but last week was a real hairy week, and for Catherine and I, we have a lot of stuff going on around the house right now. We're having, we're having a lot of work done around the house. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. We had our roof done. We had a new roof put on. Yes, awesome. Came out great. We love it. And so we've got other various projects going on around the house. The latest one is we're having the house restuccoed. So there's scaffolding all over the place. There's a mess in the front yard, mess on the side yard, mess in the backyard. It's everywhere. And we were having a family party last Sunday. What is that? The 28th, I guess it was. So we were having a family get together, and my work schedule was kind of hairy. I had to get the house ready to have company over. I mean, we probably had about 30 people or so here, and there's just no way I was going to be able to do it coming home on a Friday and trying to put out a podcast. There's no way I was going to be able to do or record anything on that Saturday morning. So it was just like, okay, well, going to have to take a week off. And I mean, I didn't even have time to put out notification on Instagram or on Facebook or anything like that. So just didn't have time to do it. And as a matter of fact, this week, I haven't had time to really put out any notifications. This just came about. It didn't, no, take it back. I'd already planned on doing a show tonight, but I didn't anticipate it. Well, one, I didn't anticipate it being late. And two, with my work schedule this week, I didn't even have 5 minutes to take a break at work and just say, okay, put out the notifications, let everybody know, get ready, we're on tonight, all that good stuff. I called Catherine, hey, can you take like 5 minutes, please, and put out notification for Friday Night Live tonight? And she did. She put it out on the Instagram page, and she put it on her Facebook, but there was no notification on mine. Okay. So anyway, but here we are. And I'm going to get into why we're late tonight, but I'm going to save that for a little later in the show. Okay. Nobody else has commented. So somebody else has got to leave a comment, because I'm not just going to sit here with a drink on my screen. Can't have that. But again, thanks for being here tonight. Oh, let me see something here really quick. Let me see. What do we got going on here? Forget it. I'll do it later. But so we've got the stucco job going on at the house. I'm hoping they're going to be done, because they worked all last week. They worked, they worked, I think, 3 days this week. I think they were here Monday and Tuesday. I think they took Wednesday, Thursday. They were back today. They'll be back tomorrow. And they're doing a great job. Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. I want, what you want a new patio roof? I should give you my guy's number then, Debbie. Debbie left a comment. She wants a new patio roof. I'll give you my guy's number. They might do you up. But I'll wait till they finish mine first. Okay. So we've got the stucco going on, and I'm hoping they're going to be done next week. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, hoping they're done by like Wednesday of next week. And then we've got a patio cover. We've got the patio cover guys coming in, and they're going to be putting up a patio cover. And we're real excited about it, because it's not going to enclose the patio, but the idea is to bring indoor living outdoors. That's the whole idea with it. And it's going to be tremendous. We're so excited about it. We're stoked. Can't wait for it to happen. And then we have another project that's going to come about in September. Actually, we probably have two projects in September. So we just have all kinds of work going on around the house. It's like a construction zone around here. Like I said, I've got scaffolding all over the place. And yeah, so it looks great. But we're excited and can't wait till it's all done. And then, you know, rest and relax. So, yeah. And the party on Sunday, I did end up getting the backyard done. It actually looked really, really good for a construction zone. At least everything was really clean. I took my leaf blower, I blew down the whole pool deck, the patio, I blew down the artificial grass, got it all picked up. Then I took my pressure washer and I washed everything down. And so everything was pretty good. Yeah. Other than the scaffolding and all that kind of stuff and plastic covering all my windows and doors. And yeah. But anyway, enough of that. So we got that stuff going on. And yeah, I think that's, well, kind of it right now. But how's everybody's week going? I know mine has been, let's see, I've been up since 12:30 this morning. And it's, let's see, Pacific time, it's what, almost 8 o'clock. So I've been up for a while, like 20 hours now, almost. I had a really, really crazy work schedule. I think I started at 2 o'clock every morning this week. And long days. I hope you didn't have to put in as many hours as I did this week. But if you did, thumbs up to you. Good job. Good job on you. Yeah, it's just a crazy week. And then, we had some stuff that we were taking care of. And like I said, I'm holding out. I'm waiting till closer to the end of the show to get into all that stuff. But here's, I thought, some really kind of cool stuff. So I was, okay, everybody is like, I guess maybe for the last year or so, everybody's crazy about AI. AI this, AI that, and AI is controlling a lot of stuff. People are utilizing it to, they're using it to put out job resumes, job applications. Kids are cheating at school, using it for their school reports, Musicians are recording with it. It's crazy, the stuff that AI is doing. And apparently it's like learning all the time. It's constantly learning. So there was, I don't even know what publication had it out. Maybe it could have been something that was online, but it was regarding Chat GPT. And it was asked, and I don't know much about AI at all. I will tell you, like I said, I'm always transparent. I do use AI for this podcast, but only for one thing, and that's via Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has an AI function. It's a little expensive, but it writes my show descriptions every week. So if you listen to the show on Buzzsprout, or if you go to any of the other streaming platforms and you click on any of the episodes, if there's a show description, it's I use AI for that. Pretty much because it does a great job of transcribing the show. And I shouldn't say transcribing, but writing a great description of the show. So that's why I do it. And I mean, it usually does 2 to 3 paragraphs. There's some stuff in there that it's like, and obviously I have to go in and correct spelling from time to time, that kind of thing. But but like I said, it writes like 2 to 3 paragraphs, and it would probably take me a half hour to do that. So I let the AI function in Buzzsprout take care of that. But other than that, it's not something that I feel like I'm into. But anyway, getting back to AI and Chat GPT, which I know nothing about other than I think they're like the most popular. I don't know if it's an app, a website, whatever it is. So, but Chat GPT was asked for the greatest singers in rock music of all time. And so this is what Chat GPT came up with. And then it was it was asked 2 different times. So the first time, I don't know, was probably a couple of weeks ago. I'll just give you the top 10. Then I'm going to give you the top 10 list from yesterday. And then we'll go into an exercise here. So number 10 was Roger Daltrey. Number 9, Bono. Number 8, Bruce Springsteen. Number 7, Axl Rose. Number 6, Janis Joplin. Number 5, Steven Tyler. Number 4, Jim Morrison. Number 3, Mick Jagger. Number 2, Robert Plant. And number 1, Freddie Mercury. Now that was ChatGPT being asked who the greatest singers in rock are. Now, there's a difference between a singer and a frontman or a front person, whatever. We're just going to say frontman. You can be a great singer and not have a great stage presence or not really be able to work a crowd very well, but you can just do a great job at belting it out, like I said, and being a great singer. So I think there's a difference there. And I don't know what Chat GPT's thinking here, how it's categorizing or how it's picking these out. And like I said, I don't know how many it came up with, but we're just going with the top 10. So I guess AI is supposed to be constantly learning. So it was asked again yesterday, the same question for, which was the greatest singers in rock of all time. And this is what it came up with yesterday. Number 10, Elvis. Number 9, Stevie Nicks. Number 8, Roger Daltrey. Number 7, Bruce Springsteen. Number 6, David Bowie. Number 5, Paul McCartney. Number 4, John Lennon. I feel like I hear like a buzz. I hope you're not picking up any kind of buzz. I feel like when I'm speaking, I feel like a buzz coming on the microphone. Maybe it's just my ears. Who knows? Okay, I think I said number 4, John Lennon. And let's see. The top 3 did not change. So 3, Mick Jagger, 2, Robert Plant, and at 1, Freddie Mercury. And I will say that I believe that AI did a better job the second time, or at least I shouldn't say the second time, but on this second list, I think it did a better job of putting more singers on there. Which doesn't mean that any of these in the top 10 are not great frontmen. But I just think that they're better singers. There are more pure singers on this second list than the first list, and I'll go over this. Certainly Elvis. Elvis had a great voice, tremendous voice. Stevie Nicks, great voice. Roger Daltrey, yes. Bruce Springsteen, see, I think Bruce Springsteen's a great showman, and I think he's a great frontman, showman and frontman. and his voice fits his music. But I don't think he's a great singer. You know, I don't think he's got just this vocal range on him, and that you know, he can sing the phone book. David Bowie, yeah, I would agree with that. McCartney, yes, I've always thought that McCartney had a great voice, and we're talking about these folks in their prime too. Okay, not like Paul McCartney at 82 years old or 83 years old, however old Paul is now. John Lennon, yeah, John Lennon, I think had a great voice. I don't know if it warrants being in the top 10 greatest singers of all time. Mick Jagger, if not the greatest showman / frontman. I mean, what? Who's a better frontman than Mick Jagger? But again, his voice, it's not like he's got this operatic range and can sing anything. So as far as a singer, I don't know if he fits in there, even though he's still one of the greatest of all time. Robert Plant, yes, Robert Plant was known for having a tremendous voice. Well, and I'll say was because we're talking about in the prime anyway. So I'll talk about this like as past tense. Yeah, Robert Plant was always known for having just a great voice, though. So see, I can justify that. Freddie Mercury. It's late, been up a while. Freddie Mercury. Yeah, tremendous. Now, here's the exercise, and get in on this if you want to. Oh, wait, let me see. Can't wait to You're talking about something different, Yvette. Come on, keep up with this show here. But here's the exercise, and I'll run these down one more time. I'm going to, if you have somebody, let's put it this way, if you have somebody else in mind you want to add to this list, then yes, you can add them to the list. But if you add someone to the list, you have to take somebody off the list. So we're not making the list longer. We're keeping it at top 10. All right. So you can do it. You can leave it in the comments. You can call in. What'd you say? Let me see. Bowie's music was too unique. Also a great show. Oh yeah, no doubt, Debbie. No doubt. David Bowie was quite the showman. Okay, come on, Ben. Get it straight. Showman, front man. Golly. Yeah, I've been up since 12:30. No, yeah, absolutely no doubt about it. Oh, you didn't say too unique. You said it was so unique. Yeah, yeah. Bowie was very, very unique, very different, and a great voice. Great voice. So let's play along. All right. And what I'm gonna do, because I'm adding, let's see, I'm adding 3. So I have to take off 3, and I'll share those with you in just a moment. I'm sure. Oh, no, I'm adding 4. That's what I'm doing. And, I think some of this, though, on this list here from AI, I think some of it is generated based on popularity as well, maybe not necessarily on talent or vocal ability. But I can take 4 off of here right now and add 4. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to share that with you. Let's see. I think Elvis deserves to be on there. I don't have a problem with Stevie Nicks being on there, but you know what? Okay, I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to do. because I think vocally, yes, actually, I may change this whole list. I am putting Ann Wilson in that slot. Make it simple. Okay. Ann Wilson still sings tremendous. She's still got a great voice. I love Roger Daltrey's voice. I think he's got a great voice. I'm taking out Bruce Springsteen, as I had said. I don't think that he needs to be there. And I'm putting Mike Reno. And some of you are going to be, well, what? But this is why I say that AI is probably picking a lot of this based on popularity and not based on talent. Bowie. Well, I'm taking, okay. Okay, so we did that. I've got 3 more. Oh, yeah, no, this is actually going to be pretty easy. Okay. And I do agree with you, Debbie. Like I said, I think Bowie had a tremendous voice. But as far as a range, I don't know. And I'm putting Lou Gramm in that spot right there. Lou Gramm from Foreigner. Everybody knows Lou Gramm. Just, oh gosh, so good. Okay. And then I'm taking out John Lennon and I'm putting in Paul Stanley. I have always said, I've said for years and years and years that my 2 favorite, I did my last one too, that my 2 favorite vocalists are Paul Stanley and the next guy. I'm taking out Mick Jagger. Like I said, probably the greatest frontman. I'll get it straight. Probably the greatest frontman in rock, and but not on the vocal ability. So, yeah, and I'm replacing him with who I consider, and I just, I'm just not slotting these from 10 to 1. I'm just putting these folks that I removed. I'm putting somebody in their slot. I think greatest voice in rock music, Steve Perry. So there you go. Okay. So my list would, well, like I said, it's not in any real order, but my list would read Elvis, Ann Wilson, Mike Reno, Lou Gramm, Paul McCartney. I'm okay with Paul being there. Paul Stanley, Steve Perry, Robert Plant, and Freddie Mercury. Yeah. So who told me, somebody said you rock, Ben. Huh. I don't know who that is. Well, if I rock, tell me who you are. Send me another text. Oh, you know what? I'm going to text on the air. Here we go. It's okay. Gotcha. Gotcha, Christina. I gotcha. I'll save it. You can always call in. If you're watching, you can call in. And you must be watching because you texted me. So, yeah, so good. Now, somebody told you. You did. So call in then. Just call in. So let's get your favorite vocalists on there. Let's get them in the comments or send them via text or call in. Remember, if you call the show, I've got to take a shot of Malort. And I still have, right here, have my Mr. Spock shot glass. And I promise you, Scout's honor, this shot glass has not left the studio. And it hasn't been rinsed out, washed out, nothing. So it's been left here just as it always has been. Yep. I think it has. Oh, yeah, it's sticky on the bottom. So good stuff. All right. So while I'm waiting for use to call in, text in, whatever you want to do, I told you that my niece Anita. Oh, by the way, okay. Let me get into this one. So 2 weeks ago when we were last together, Anita called in. She was texting because I think she was watching the show, and she was texting me. She was saying, "Can I call? Is now a good time to call? I have some news." And I was like, "Well, yeah, just call." Of course, I was in the middle of a rant, so um, I think she was just thinking about the timing of it. And she had called in, her and Danny, her husband, my nephew. They were at Keck Medical Center. I explained earlier that Anita is in need of a liver transplant. And so they were there because they got called in and said, "Hey, we have one. It might be yours tonight." So they had gone down and they were waiting and waiting and waiting. And she called in with the news, and it was great news. And I was just so overjoyed and really hoping it was going to happen. We talked the next morning, and it didn't happen. There were two potential recipients, and the liver ended up not being viable for either of them. So yeah, so bad luck on that one, which, what are you going to do? But the good news is it shows a dedication and a commitment on her part. So she kind of just like moves up even higher now. So yeah, we're crossing our fingers, we're saying our prayers, and we're hoping it's just going to happen anytime. And as I told her that night, I said, "You call me anytime with the news. I don't care what time it is." But as I was saying, she gave me this book, her and Danny. They gave me this book. They said it was an early birthday present because they didn't know if they were going to see me for my birthday. And it's called The Big Book of Rock and Roll Names. And I thought it was really, really cool because it's got stories on all kinds of bands in here and how they got their names. So I thought we would go through, let's go through a few bands. Boy, I saw one right there. Okay, I'm in B, so we're just going to go right here. Everybody knows Bad Company. Debbie, you haven't left any of your bands in the comments, or not bands, but any of your singers in the comments. So come on, let's go. So let's read about Bad Company. Holy Toledo. Okay, that's a big story here. So the hard rock supergroup was formed in Westminster, London in 1973 by two members of the band Free. And I think everybody knows that Free was the predecessor to Bad Company. What'd you say there, Deb? Kurt Cobain? You think he was a great singer? Okay. Well, I mean, his voice, it was great for what Nirvana did, just like I believe Axl Rose, his voice is great for what Guns N' Roses does, but I would never call Axl Rose a great singer, but that's okay. That's okay. I know you love Nirvana. I know you love that stuff. But if you're going to put Kurt Cobain on there, you have to take somebody off the list, though. Okay? So you got to take someone off the list. All right. So Bad Company was formed out of Free, singer Paul Rodgers and drummer Simon Kirke, along with Mott the Hoople guitarist Mick Ralphs and King Crimson bassist Boz Burrell. When asked if the 1972 Western film Bad Company inspired the band name, Kirke said, "Well, it did and it didn't. I've been asked this question many times, and I can only tell you what I remember. When we were putting the band together in late 73, we didn't have a name." We were playing in Paul Rogers' little studio, and I remember him coming home one day. He'd been to Guildford, which is this town just outside London. He'd been walking down the street and saw an advert for this Jeff Bridges film called Bad Company. It became sort of a cult movie, but I remember him saying, "That's a great name for the band." And I agreed. We just signed to Swan Song Records, Led Zeppelin's record label, and we had to get them to ask Warner Brothers if we could use the name. We weren't sure if it was trademarked and all that stuff. And I believe everything was cleared for us to use the name. Now, fast forward many years, and I remember Paul saying in another interview about the derivation of the name that he was reading an old Victorian book, and he maintains that there was an image in it that sparked the idea. I always remember the name as coming from the movie, but Paul Rogers would question that. Rogers said, "No, I've never even seen the movie, actually. The name came from my childhood days. I saw a book on Victorian morals with a picture of this Victorian punk. He was dressed like a tough, with a top hat and spats and vest and the watch in the pocket and his tails and all that." I guess this guy was really like spiffy looking, I suppose. And the guy is leaning on the lamppost with a bottle in his hand and a pipe in his mouth, obviously a dodgy person. And you've got this little choir boy kind of guy, a little kid actually, looking up to him. And underneath it said, "Beware of bad company." Okay. All right. It wasn't as great a story as I was hoping for. Let's see. What'd you say? Only. Oh, okay. Okay. How about Sting? Sting has Sting has a really good voice. I like Sting's voice, but as I said, if you're gonna, you have to take somebody off the list though, Debbie. So take someone off. I can't take off anyone, but if those are the rules, then take off Lennon. Okay. Yes, those are the rules. Okay, so we take off Lennon, we put Sting. Okay, good job. Good job. Let's see. How about this one? How about this one? The Circle Jerks. Okay, I don't know about everyone in the audience, but I would think that some of my audience remembers the Circle Jerks. They were a punk band. I don't honestly know their longevity. Holy cow, we got another long story here. But let's get through it. I've of course I kind of have an idea where they got the name, but I don't know if it's true or not. I think that's just what everybody says. So let's see. It says singer Keith Morris formed the band in Los Angeles in 1979 after he left Black Flag. He remembers Greg, the guitarist, and I were over at Raymond Pettibon's house. He's the guy that did all the artwork for Black Flag in the beginning. We were over there getting the artwork for some flyers, and we didn't have a name for the band. We were originally going to call ourselves the Plastic Hippies or the Runs, and we decided those names weren't really anything particularly outstanding. Pettibon had an American slang dictionary there. We started flipping through it, and I came across Circle Jerk, and I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. I looked at Greg, and he looked at me, and he kind of said, yeah, this looks like something that we could use. This looks like something that could be permanent. When asked if he was glad they chose it, Morris said, yeah, I mean, it never bothered me. When I found out what it meant, it was just a really stupid name. If you look at all these band names, they're just really stupid names, and the more stupid the name, the more outstanding it is, I guess, or the more memorable. We weren't able to be mentioned in a lot of newspapers, say in the Bible Belt. We were referred to as the CJs, just like the Dead Kennedys and the Butthole Surfers. Even the LA Times won't put Butthole Surfers in the newspaper. It's the BH Surfers. We've told people that it meant like 6 guys in a van driving around in circles, which happened to us quite a bit. Say like we would pull into a city, say like in Boston, the way the streets are set up, it's very easy to get lost. We kind of made up things like that. So, yeah, I guess circle jerks really does mean what they thought it meant. Oh, okay. Let's see. What else did we get? What is, okay, wait, hold on. Wow, Deb. Yes, Yvette, all are great singers. Okay, Deb. Seneca from X, Take Off Springsteen. Okay, you know what? Here's a question we got to ask Chat GPT. Okay, because this was obviously rock is a very broad category, and there's so many subsections of rock music. You've got punk rock, what we consider classic rock, hard rock, whatever, heavy metal, the soft rock, all that kind of stuff, even yacht rock. How's that? So we would have to ask Chat GPT maybe the greatest singers in punk rock of all time, something like that. And then that way we keep this list to, like, I guess what we would call more mainstream rock or our classic rock, that kind of thing. Then you could ask it the greatest singers in heavy metal. You could go through all these different subgenres or subsets of rock music. So, yeah, I don't know. Somebody will do it if it hasn't already been done. All right, let's find something else. And I'm just flipping the pages. I'm just flipping them. Okay. This one I pretty much knew, but all right, here we go. This is Guns N' Roses, by the way. When the band formed in LA in 1985, they considered a variety of names, including Heads of Amazon and AIDS. Guns N' Roses was chosen by combining the names of 2 bands that the members had previously played in, LA Guns and Hollywood Rose. Boom. Yep. There you go. There you go. Okay. Let's try. Since we, wait a minute. Since we talked about, yeah, here it is. Where is it? Boom, boom, boom. Since we talked about Led Zeppelin, let's see what they say here. Oh, yes, I'm going to read that one too. Come on. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. I skipped over it. All right. So I'm going to hold this out here. So Led Zeppelin. Guitarist Jimmy Page formed Led Zeppelin after the breakup of the Yardbirds in 1968 and originally called the band the New Yardbirds. Although Keith Moon, the drummer for The Who, is usually credited with suggesting the name, Richard Cole, Led Zeppelin's longtime tour manager, shed some new light on the matter. What happened was Keith Moon, John Entwistle, and I were in New York at a club called The Salvation. At the time, I was with the Yardbirds, so that would have been around May of '68. Now, Keith and John were always going through things about leaving The Who, and they were, turn the page, They were talking about forming a new band. They were going to try to get Jimmy Page on guitar, Steve Winwood on vocals, and then they came up with this name in the club. I have a feeling it was Entwistle. I'm not sure. Most people say it was Moon. And he said, "Oh, that's good. I've got the name for it. We'll call it Led Zeppelin because it will go down like a lead balloon." So that's where it came from. It originally started out as a new name for Keith and John. Page misspelled lead as LED, so Americans would not mispronounce it as lead. Okay, I think that's kind of what we all knew, pretty much, that story. Yeah, we all kind of knew that one. Oh, this is the other one. Okay, I'm gonna go over this one too. I just had to. Come on, it's Loverboy. Yes, and let's see what it says in here, because remember, when I did the Loverboy episode, whatever it was, way back when, I talked about how the band got their name. So let's see if this one actually coincides. Loverboy formed in Calgary, Canada, 1979. Lead guitarist Paul Dean explains, "I was in a band before Loverboy called Streetheart. And the one thing that I liked about the name was that it had some irony to it. It showed some toughness and some vulnerability. So I was on a name finding mission for the band. And as I was looking through my girlfriend's magazines, Cosmo and all these girl magazines, it just so happened that I noticed that all the covers had girls on them. So I figured Cover Boy. Now there's a pretty good irony to that. I don't know how I figured it at the time, but that was my thinking, Cover Boy. Then the next logical step was Lover Boy, and I just went, this is going to get a reaction. Mike Reno, the band's lead singer, and I were going to call it the Mike Reno Paul Dean Project or something. People asked me, "So what are you doing? What's the name of your band going to be?" And I'd tell them the Paul Dean Band. They'd go, "Yeah, okay." So I figured with a name like Loverboy, at least we're going to get a reaction, whether good or bad. Turn the page. There we go. These people are going to notice it. It's going to stand out, you know. So we tried it and we got a lot of name calling from it, but we said, what the hell? We're going to go with it anyway, because at least it creates some kind of stuff in the industry, not just another bland name. I think the second week we were called, oh my gosh. I think the second week we were called Homos or something. And people in Japan and Germany really had a problem with the name. They couldn't figure it out. They figured it was a gearbox name. You get the idea of what I'm saying. When asked if he's glad that, when asked if he's glad they went with the name, he said, "Not really. It's a pretty hard thing to live up to when you're 46. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, so okay, what did we get here? Another comment. Let's see. Oh, the hang on. I have to go get closer to the laptop, Debbie. I can't read the comments. It's so far away. Say Esme? Can't really read it. But all right. So if you still want to participate in our little exercise, awesome. And then so here's what we're gonna do. Yeah. We'll get into that one. I think I'll save that one for, yeah, because it's really, really short. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to get into why we're so late tonight. And it kind of starts like this. Um, Way back when I had a guest on the show, Eddie Sanchez. You can go back. I don't remember what episode number it is, but um, it was pretty early on. I think we were probably on the air. We probably had about 10 shows in, something like that. And I had Eddie on, and we've known each other for many, many years since high school. And he has been battling cancer now, coming up on 2 years. Actually, I'm sorry, it is over 2 years now. So he's been going through a lot, and he hasn't been feeling well. He wasn't feeling well this past weekend. And so he's been in the hospital, just running some tests. And sorry, I'm having a hard time with this. Okay. But I talked to his brother. When did I talk to? I talked to him. Was it yesterday? Yes, I think it was yesterday. I talked to him, and I said, "Hey, I'm coming by after work, and as long as Eddie's up for it." And he said, "Absolutely." So that's what I was doing. I got off work today. I came home. I grabbed my beautiful wife, Catherine, and we went and visited Eddie in the hospital. And that's what we were doing. We spent some time with him. He's in good spirits. Still has a nice strong grip. So that he was running short of breath. He was having a hard time breathing. And so that's kind of what put him in, and his oxygen levels were down. And so they thought that maybe he had a heart attack, very mild one, something that he wasn't even aware that may have happened. And they ran what they do? They did an angiogram today, and the doctor came in afterwards and he said, "Heart's great. The heart is great." So they're going to do some more testing tomorrow and try to get this thing figured out. But Eddie's in great spirits, as he has been through this entire process. And so Hav, his brother, has been at the hospital the entire time, sleeping there every night. And he gets up, and he goes home to take a shower, and he comes back, and that's about it. And so it was just great visiting with him and having a good time. And once Eddie gets his strength back up, and I mentioned this to him 2-3 weeks ago, that I wanted him to come back on the podcast and just give an update of where he is, and what kind of progress he's making, what the outlook is like, all that kind of stuff. I just want to bring awareness, and this is from day one. This has always been a storytelling and not just music commentary, but a storytelling podcast, and a real show that has a human touch to it, or human element to it. I mean, that's what it's all about. And Eddie's a great guy. He's a great heart. He thinks about a lot of people before he thinks about himself. And so when I asked him about it, when we spoke the last time, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you just got to let me know." So we're on for it. We'll get it done as soon as he's up to feeling, better, and he gets his strength back. We'll get him in here. I told Hav, I said, "You're coming on too." because these guys are like ride or die. Love these guys. They're great. So we'll get them on. I just ask, listen, for anybody out there that may be watching this live or who's going to be listening to this later on, just keep Eddie in your prayers. Think good thoughts, because he's a great guy, and he's loved by a lot of people. A lot of people. As a matter of fact, hold on here. I can't forget this. So, so this is Ed. Okay, this is Ed right here. Catherine and I are in the room. Hov's sitting over on the bed, on his bed where he's sleeping, and Eddie kind of calls me over, and because he can't really talk right now very well, and he says, "Hey, call Troy," and I'll explain it in a second. He says, "Call Troy," and I said, "Okay, what do you want?" And he says, "Tell Troy." Or ask Troy to put together like some cold cuts and some cookies and stuff for like 18 people. I'm like, "Oh, is it going to be for the night shift?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, that's fine." I said, I'll go in on it with you." And he says, "No." I said, "No." And we almost got into fisticuffs over that. Yeah. And how's that going to look? Right. So I called Troy, got him on the phone. "Troy, it's Ben." I said, "Hey, Ed wants a platter of like cold cuts and some cookies for 18 people." He's like, "Okay, when does he want it?" I said, "Like now." Troy is another one of our school chums, I guess. Like I said, we've all known each other forever. We all went to school together. And Troy and his lovely wife, Debbie, who, by the way, are high school sweethearts. They own a business. They have a butcher shop slash deli slash sandwich shop, and so and we get together there once a month. Just alumni from high school and all that. We get together once a month and we hang out for a couple 3 hours and have lunch, shoot the breeze, have a good time. So Troy said, I say he wants it now. Troy said, "What?" "Okay, well, I'm not there. So let me call my staff and let me get them on it now." I said, "Okay, just call me back. Let me know." He calls me back. He says, "Okay, they can have it ready by 6." I was like, 6? And I'm thinking, I gotta get home too. I got a show to do. And he says, "Well, how about 5:30?" I said, "That's great. No problem." I said, "Let me know how much it is." He says, "Well, we'll figure it out later. Don't worry about it." So sure enough, Catherine and I drove out there. It was ready at 5:35, something like that. And then we brought it back to the hospital, and there you go. So it's just, like I said, there's a lot of people that care about Eddie, and just so they would do something like this because he asked. And of course, Troy is such a great guy, and him and Debbie are just so giving. They really are. They're so great to the community. But just that kind of stuff. And thank you, Debbie over here, for sending out good vibes. Thank you, Debbie. But yeah, just keep Eddie in your prayers. That we're hoping he's going to come home by Monday, no later than Monday. So it sucks that he has to spend another couple of days in the hospital. If anybody has spent any length of time in a hospital, it sucks. It just is terrible. Hospital sleep is no good. There's nothing like the comforts of home. So just so you know, Eddie, we're thinking about you. Love to you. Love to Hav. You guys are in our prayers. Everybody here at the Ben Maynard program, because it's such a large staff. We love you. We're thinking about you. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out tonight. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. I actually had people texting Catherine saying, "Hey, are you going live tonight?" And we were like 20 minutes late at the time. We're driving home. I said, "Tell them 20 minutes, okay?" So that's why we're late tonight. It was with good reason. Thank you so much for hanging in there. Doesn't matter if it's one people, two people. It doesn't matter if it's, the small audience that this show has. It's actually, what's cool about it is that it's a dedicated audience. They come back, whether it's Friday Night Live or they're just watching, each of the episodes as they get recorded and posted and all that. It's a dedicated audience, and I appreciate that very much. You guys are great. So I'm not going to get all sappy or anything like that. I'm going to say right now that we are wrapping it, okay? Because it's Friday night and you spent your Friday evening with me here live, date night with Ben Maynard, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you, Yvette. So we're going to wrap it, all right? And as you know, this program is available on multiple podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. I got to include that one now. But you can always just search the Ben Maynard program. You'll have lots of options to choose from. Choose the option of your liking and go with it. However, if you're watching like you are right now on YouTube and you just can't resist it, and you got to have all this beauty here, please subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment. All right. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram. Simply Ben Maynard Program. With that, we're done. Thank you so much again for spending Friday night with me. All right. I love you guys. Check you next week. We got some good stuff in the pipeline, some good stuff coming up. So this is the Ben Maynard Program. Tell a friend.